Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. So
Yeah.
tell us about your check-ins, if you don't mind. Like, what were they like? I mean, every 2 weeks seems like an awful lot, to be quite honest with you.
Sometimes there were a couple a day. I started to call them oil changes.
I like that.
um, it was constantly. Okay, so basically, it would probably be better if you don't mind if I tell you what would be the catalyst for them happening.
Sure, sure.
Me waking up to 6-inch long romantic text messages. Um, that would
Six
be
inch?
something that would 6 inches. So picture 6 inches on a regular size cell phone.
Oh, that's
It's long.
yeah, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I was good on my own, that's the way it was. That's the way it was. You was good on the low for a favor.
Are we all pinned? All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to our show. This is Karina and Amber, your co-host to Dating and Marriage Perspectives. Damn good to the last word. We're happy to be with you, all our viewers, our listeners. And if you haven't been with us in a little while, welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right. So I think we have a fan. I'm becoming a fan. He was like, I want to come back and spend some time with you guys. So Marcus is back with us. We did a previous show with him a couple weeks ago on a post that he shared on social media. And we gave him the floor to explain himself so we can read between the lines and really understand his own frustration and experiences with dating. So consider this part 2 of a Black man's perspective on dating today in 2022.
And a male perspective. Yeah.
What's that?
And a male perspective too.
Yeah. Male perspective. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome back, Marcus. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back in the trenches.
Yeah. It's not often that I have the opportunity to demonstrate my courage in this way. So
we appreciate you.
You do. You do.
Okay, so we have Marcus here, and I mean, really, the three of us to continue talking about dating today. And sometimes what often happens is miscommunication. What one person might say, so what Marcus might say, or any one of us might say, and what the other person actually hears might be completely different from what was just said. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to Amber. You want to start us off with some questions?
Yeah. It's funny because Marcus and I spoke one day, and he was explaining to me a situation he had with somebody that he was dating, and he was frustrated, which is totally understandable. And I literally said to him, I have a good girlfriend who the exact same thing just happened to her, and the guy said the exact same thing. So you have to be on the show because we needed explanation, right? We want to know, if you said, if what you said is what you meant, which I do believe that men say what they mean, go by what they say, comes out their mouth. Actions may be something different, but I just thought you would be a really good person to, bounce ideas off, hear what you had to say. So, if you can kind of give us a background and tell us what happened, if you would be so inclined with the girl you're dating.
Okay. So the situation that I described to you was one where a woman and myself were having conversations, and I told her what I really wanted, and out of life, and she and I both like mutually knew that, based on a few factors, she wasn't what she wanted and what I wanted didn't match, both by through our own personal criteria like age and location and things of that nature. So it was kind of mutually agreed upon. I also communicated clearly that what I actually wanted, I didn't have time to pursue because I was working so much. And I found her company to be a nice company to keep. And so I decided to, spend most of my time with her, the time that I did spend with a woman. But in that, you know, despite my self-admitted, chauvinism and all these other things that I could be called as a guy, I guess, well, I was warned by other people and through some of her reactions that despite her and I agreeing that what we had was casual, bordering on exclusive, without any eye to building a future, because I was behaving in a certain way, she actually began to interpret my actions as undermining what my words were. And my words and dialogue never changed. We would have check-ins every few weeks, unfortunately. With people being in their 40s, you would think that wouldn't be necessary, but because of things that she was doing and things that she was saying, I typically felt compelled to keep letting her know, well, yeah, I did that, and yeah, I told you this, and yeah, we did that, but it doesn't mean that I've changed what I said to you on day one. And so, completely without my permission, she constructed uh, a relationship, which, I mean, you and I have a relationship, Amber. What is a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Relationships are acquaintances, whatever. But what she had constructed was nowhere near what was really true, in the sense of both of us participating in it. And what she had constructed in her mind was a complete departure and deviation from what we both agreed we would be doing. And so um, I regret that you heard frustration in my voice, because you missed the frustration phase. The frustration phase, and you would have put me on call block during that time, because when I would talk about it, all of the anger and frustration that was involved with it was crazy. I think you got me more in the exasperated phase,
Okay.
where I was just like, I had just surrendered to being wrong, not listening to my friend's advice, and not taking responsibility for what is common among men and women. Everyone's different, but more often than not, no matter what, I believe that no matter what a man says, his actions have to be consistent with what he's doing. So in my situation, I was saying I didn't want to pursue a long-term relationship, and I didn't want us to have a family, but I was traveling with, I was a gift giver. I moved into exclusivity. All things that I don't think make a man committed. Those are all things a committed man should do, but that didn't mean I was committed, especially considering the fact that I said I didn't want to be committed for as lifelong partners. So I take responsibility for my role in all that, but it's unfortunate that it did get to that point.
Sure, sure. Now, when you say that you checked in, I'm just curious, like, what were your check-ins like? Were they like, hey, we're cool, or oh, go ahead.
So before we get to this question, because that is one of my questions,
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning, you said that you shared with her what you wanted. What did you say to her exactly, if you remember?
Okay, so you did stutter a little bit. You said, not you, but the video feed. You
Oh,
said
I
in
was
the
like,
beginning,
damn.
in the oh, don't be over there starting stuff, Amber.
Sorry.
Please. The video stuttered. So you
Stuttered.
were asking me, I need that question again. You said in the beginning, I what?
At the beginning, you said that you explained to her what you were looking for, what you were pursuing. Do you remember what you said to her describing what it was you were looking for? That you were
So,
pursuing?
okay, so this is exactly, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I can tell you very briefly exactly what happened. We talked a lot. We saw each other a few times. We had a good time. she started, I don't even know who started the dialogue, but the dialogue happened like, okay, what does the future look like? I said that I want to have a family. She never wanted to have a family.
Hmm.
And then we both agreed that, those were two things that, two separate things we wanted. And so I think okay, so what I actually said to her was, despite the fact that we both want two different things, let's have fun.
Hmm. Okay.
And that was the
Okay, that's
last
what you said.
time
Let's
I
just have
ever-
fun.
Huh?
That's what you said. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, let's have fun. Let's enjoy each other's company. And that meant all those other things, the traveling and spending time together. And, things are pretty gross out there. So me personally, I didn't want I didn't want to have a stable or some cadre of women. I mean, I think that and this is completely has nothing to do, but the reason why I was being exclusive was not because I was in love with this woman. It's just because I think that if a man needs to see for a woman, then he's with the for wrong woman. It doesn't take for a woman to
Hmm.
keep a man happy.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. So
Yeah.
tell us about your check-ins, if you don't mind. Like, what were they like? I mean, every 2 weeks seems like an awful lot, to be quite honest with you.
Sometimes there were a couple a day. I started to call them oil changes.
I like that.
It was constantly. Okay, so basically, it would probably be better if you don't mind if I tell you what would be the catalyst for them happening.
Sure.
Me waking up to 6-inch long romantic text messages. That would be
6 inch?
something that would 6 inches. So picture 6 inches on a regular size cell phone.
Oh, that's,
It's long.
yeah, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. So that would okay, and it was never like yelling and screaming and well, not all the time. Like maybe there were several times where like, damn, what are you doing? So I would answer that as much as a human. Okay, what are you doing? I told you I don't like that. And then there would be a significant amount of instances of, well, you know what? I'm a woman, and we're just built differently, and I can't do this anymore. And I would say, "Ooh, that was disappointing," but I believe in people taking care of themselves. Not talk to someone for a few days, and then it's back on again. That was happening, and then when that would happen, there would be another check-in. And it would always be, I can handle it, I can do this, and I can do that. And I would see that the behavior wasn't consistent with what she was saying. So she was saying that she could handle it, but she was demonstrating that she couldn't. I was saying I didn't want anything long-term and serious, but I was acting like a real boyfriend. I was.
Okay. I mean, I feel like
So that's
you
my part. Yeah.
okay. Is that how you usually act when you are dating
Yep.
somebody?
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I've stopped dating. I mean, I don't date as like I'm very picky about dating now because there's only one. I I personally am the guy who I forgot how to treat women different ways for different boxes. Like if you're a woman in my life and I'm seeing you romantically and I like being around you, I only know one way to treat you, and it's a good way, whether you're going to be my wife or girlfriend or just friend. But unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way that I cannot treat, a woman in that nice way and expect her to just be one of my buddies.
Well, see, I just disagree with that. I had told you that before on the phone. I disagree with that comment because I
Yeah.
do feel that there are a number of women out there that can take it if you are just upfront and honest. And that was one of the first things I'd asked you. Well, did you tell her what your expectations were or where you saw that? And you told me, yeah. So I didn't really put that on you. And I don't think that you should change your behavior, in my opinion. I don't think you should change your behavior. And if you have to have a check-in that often, to me, that would have been a red flag to have to say,
That I
every
ignored.
two.
Yeah, that I
Yeah,
ignored. That's my part.
even those, 6-inch texts would have been crazy. That's another, I would have been like, damn, okay, well, we're just gonna be friends. We can't hang out. I'll see you
Yeah.
in about a month. See how you act.
Yeah.
But
So, can I ask you how old she is? Because last time we talked, you'd mentioned the age range that
yeah,
you.
so when this was going on, I was 43. It started about when I was like 42. And let me see. Yes, this kind of started when I was about 41, and she was like 47 going on 48.
really,
Oh, this is not recent. This is this still
Yeah.
going on now or?
Well,
keep it
I
real.
mean, no, I can keep it real, but I'm going to articulate it. This began a long time ago, ended a while ago, and the residue is still being swept up. But it's not someone that I've actively seen in over a year, way over a year.
You may have a stalker on your hands. I'm not trying to be
Ooh.
funny. I'm not trying to judge anybody.
Well,
And
for
I
the
don't know
sake
the other
of, for the
side either.
purpose,
I
for the
don't know the other
purposes,
side. I'm
for the
saying,
purposes of this show, and I will just say, if you knew everything, you would not think that that was a far-fetched.
yeah. I mean, I don't know her side of the story. I
Yeah.
only know, I believe there's a couple different sides to it, but I mean, that sounds different. That sounds, you know in your heart though that not every woman is like that.
So on topic, you have a
You didn't answer
woman.
my question.
What was the question?
You know that in your heart of hearts that not every woman is like, not all women are like that.
Yeah, I just think that in general, I'm more likely to encounter women being like that than I am them not. And what I've come up with after multiple conversations with with women, lady friends of mine who are platonic, who do know how to just take a situation for what it's worth, is that yes, in general, a woman, of course, an adult, a healthy woman can accept that we're not going to get married if she doesn't want you. That's what I've come up with. It appears that if a woman or a man, if a person is generally interested in the other person, they are not going to take it casually, male or female, no matter what the other person says. I just think that it's not realistic it's not saying it's impossible. I just don't think that it's realistic for people to expect people to hold that kind of contract. Of seeing someone, me seeing
Disagree with
someone I'm
that.
interested in, me seeing a woman I'm interested, I don't think I could do it.
I
I'm really into you, and you're telling
You
me,
don't think you can do what? I'm sorry.
a woman telling me that she's really seeing a woman and I'm really into her, but her saying, no, I don't want anything serious, and my mind not continue to progress and hope that she changes her mind and me try to endear myself to her and change her mind. I know that I wouldn't participate in that, but if I did, if I was unhealthy enough to continue to participate in that, I would be progressing in a relationship in my head while she's just having fun. I don't even think that's exclusive to gender.
Hmm. Maybe it's exclusive to the person, then it may not have to be exclusive to the gender, but I know I've had people that, there are boundaries up front, and everybody has the right to change their mind down the road, right? I mean, because it's just natural sometimes to catch feelings in that situation.
Right.
But at the same time, here's the choices. I like you, we keep going and progressing to something more, or you know what, we just stop overall and life goes on,
Right.
kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit different, but I also probably, I mean, sex sometimes can be just sex. Sorry.
These situations, in my opinion, I don't care. There's three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the
Yep.
truth.
Absolutely.
I just think that when it's two adults, it's a hot mess, and both parties play a role in the hot mess. There's no you can have somebody like me who on paper would look like a good guy, but the bad guy part comes in when you keep participating in it, you keep feeding it, you keep doing it. So that's it's full accountability, and it's not me taking accountability because it's easy to do after the fact. Actually, it's I'm not a blameless, guiltless party in the situation, because just like you said, there were red flags. I ignored them because I was getting what I want, and I think that people tend to do that. People ignore red flags when they're getting what they want.
No, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Now,
I've ignored red flags.
what'd you say?
I said, I know I've ignored flags. I'm like,
Oh yeah, we all have. We all
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good, you know what, from a female perspective, okay? Like, well, what kind of red flags would you say that you've ignored in the past? And,
Yeah, well, so so my last relationship, and I'm gonna call it a relationship, he would call it a casual relationship. Kind of similar to you. I almost said your real name. Kind of similar to
I guess.
you. But slightly different is, so this guy and I, we were seeing each other, and I don't know, 2-3 months into it, he's over here, he's cooking me dinner, and says similar words that you said to your girl. I want to focus on you. I only want to see you. I've paused my what's it called? My dating app. I want to let down my walls. I want to be vulnerable, and all that stuff. And I had decided for myself, I don't really want to see other people. It's COVID. I don't know where people are at. I was okay just dating him and seeing him. So I had already shut down my app, but I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him anything. I was just like, no, I'm just going to focus on this guy. And I never said to him, I'm going to focus on you. He said that to me first. And so it so happened that he decided to let go of his app, and I did as well. And so whatever. So our time together was our time together. He was here all the time. We were hanging out all the time. Going on weekend getaways, international trips, buying things here and there. It was a relationship. Boyfriend, girlfriend come up? No, it didn't come up. But we were engaged in a relationship, and there was no one else involved. The kicker for me was towards the end of, like, he broke it off. The kicker for me was this was casual for me, because I needed to talk to him about something that happened. And he said, why are you treating this like a relationship? This is casual for me. I said, I know it's not boyfriend, girlfriend, but this is a form of a relationship. We've met our friends, we've met our family. I've been to your house, you've been to my house. We're traveling, we're talking about personal stuff, we're aligning our principles and morals. This is a form of a relationship. And he got upset with that he didn't agree. We didn't do a good job in checking in. We didn't. And I'm writing a book about it right now, and writing about it, I'm on chapter 8.
You should be.
And I'm having my own sense of reflection, like my own, like, okay, so that came up, I don't know, like a month into dating. Maybe I should have asked a deeper question about this and that. And then something else came up. I was like, maybe I should have asked about this. Like, these things came up, and Karina, the patient, understanding, it's okay, and kind of person, I didn't dig deep. I didn't dig deeper. I didn't ask more questions. And at the end of it, he turned out to be a real ninja.
Yeah.
A real ninja. And what hurts is that, what did he say? He said, he has said a lot of things and text messages, very meaningful, deep ways of getting to know me, connecting with me, and all those things. And he said, well, it's not my fault that you made meaning out of it. I was just being a nice guy.
Now, what is your, I'm just curious from a man's point of view, like hearing that obviously for the first time too, but like just what, I can't, I'm almost speechless because every time I hear that, I'm like, what the fuck, you know,
Like,
sorry.
ninja.
But like what, like as a man to say, to hear that I'm just being a nice guy, I mean, that's hard, I think, especially when you have delivered yourself a certain way. And
Yeah.
you very well may be a nice guy, but your actions are doing something different at that point. I mean, I think if there were more check-ins, you know, not every 2 weeks, I think that's crazy. But I don't know. Let me just let you talk, and I'm just jibber jabbering.
So what I have to say about that is I really believe, and I know that you were telling me how much of how you and Karina are disciples of Kevin Samuels. So I'll quote.
No. You got jokes.
No, we're not.
I'll quote.
No, we're not.
I'll quote. I'll quote because I learned a lot from that guy, even though I didn't agree with everything that he said and how he did it. But there's something that we all knew as people, and I had never heard anyone say it before or articulate it and put it in 2 lines the way he did. And it's this. It's just true for most people, cross-culturally, age, everything. Women control access to intimacy and sex, and men control access to relationships and marriage. It is very true. It continues to be true across many. Am I still there? Can you ladies hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karina was being very still. I thought it was frozen.
No, she takes in. She'll take in.
And
And I react.
I just even given the way that gentleman, the way that he packaged it in the beginning, that you cannot. How can you say that and then say and then call it casual? Because you began the dialogue with exclusivity. Period. See, I got there because I wanted to, and I didn't do a check-in about exclusivity until I threw up my hands and said, okay, let me show you that this is not going to work between the 2 of us. And we'll do it under an exclusive atmosphere. I think that it's literally bullshit when any man, when any man endeavors to have control over the access to the relationship and then tries to rewrite the contract and put addendums in there. And so if he would have talked to me 6 months into the situationship that I was having, I would have been the worst person for him to talk to, because I would have nurtured all of his. I would have like said, yeah, man, how could they think this? How could they think that? But looking back and recognizing my own onus, it's bullshit. Like we can't be saying stuff like he said in the beginning. And then when the woman that we're dating is operating within that's exclusivity, whether it's casual or not. When a woman is operating within that and checking in within that, and he says, oh, this is too heavy. That's so heavy. That has the weight and gravity of a romantic, committed relationship. And I never said I wanted that. But you played her song at the very beginning of the movie, which is, I don't want to be gross. I just want to be with you. And I don't, I know, because we know that the main thing from meeting women on dating apps is they don't want to date men on dating apps. and most women don't want to date men on dating apps, even if they meet us on it. And once they begin to date us, if anything bothers her, 9 times out of 10, it's the fact that he's still on that dating app.
Oh yeah.
So when he says, I paused it, that's a woman like saying, hey, that's my song. He paused it. But what often happens? Girl, he paused it, girl. He paused his dating app. And then her friend's like, but he said he doesn't want X, Y, and Z. And it's not fair to then tell a woman that she should ignore the fact that he said he paused it and reconcile that with the reality of him saying he didn't want to be exclusive. And I mean, he didn't want to have anything long-term and serious. They're just two confusing, conflicting messages. And I did the same thing. So basically, I did the same thing as him. I was just as much as full of shit as him. I said one thing and I did another. And I think that's wrong.
I definitely think is wrong.
Yeah.
I do have a question, a follow-up question, because I thought what you said was great. I guess my thing has always been, this is just in general, because I do listen to what men say. You know, their actions can be one thing, and people say actions speak louder than words. But I'm also like, that's Steve Harvey, right? A man will provide, profess, and protect you. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but you know, is it, if just for you, like in your situation, would it have been different if you told her, I want to be your boyfriend, like you're mine, because like you said, you would not want her off doing anything else with anybody else, doing something with anybody else. If you wanted to make her your woman, would you have?
Oh yeah. So I'm very possessive.
Would you like to
I
expand
accept-
on that so we can clarify?
There's a lot of things about me that's not typical of most men that I know, but I don't play when it comes to that. So when it's time to be exclusive, like I established that like right away, like you check the boxes and you're mine, not in the sense of, chattel slavery, but you're mine. Now, I also don't believe what our late great Kevin Samuel says, men exercise their options. Kind of think that's BS. There are a lot of us out here who want to be with one woman. And when a man goes and has that and tells a woman, I don't want you, I've never told a woman I don't want her with anyone else. Because it would
Yes,
be,
you
I
have.
just, it would be very difficult for her to be with anyone else dealing with me because I'm always around. I'm always around. And I don't mean stalking and
So
breaking
you're the
in.
problem.
There's no problem. We're exploring.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Perspective.
I think I
Perspective.
think that if that's what I wanted from her, and I would have established that, it would not have been a problem. Because of I don't get involved with women who don't give choosing signals. I
Say
don't
that again. I don't get involved with women.
I don't get involved with women who don't emit choosing vibes or signals or actions or behaviors. I don't.
Uh-oh.
I was taught not to chase. I was taught to express interest and make my presence known, and then give a woman an opportunity to choose. And I've also seen by example that there are a lot of women out there who, when a man makes his presence known, they say, okay, and then, so it's the balls in her court. But at the very beginning, we're in the interview process and we're playing your song like that. We should be held accountable for how you feel afterwards, even if a woman's feelings go outside of what we want them to be. Let me just say this one more thing, because I know I'm being a little bit verbose here. And here's prepare for the I guess chauvinism. By and large, I think that men should take accountability for the fact that we know that women should not be expected to, on a regular and consistent basis, always reconcile logic with what their emotions are. That is not a handicap. It does not make women crazy. It's actually the reason why mothers get better gifts on Mother's Day. It's because that is a quality that many women have. And us men being logical and sitting back, watching a woman go through those range of emotions, allowing her to do that without doing the check-ins or sending her confusing signals, we should be accountable for that.
I
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
And I'm not trying to be a pick me here.
So thank you for saying that, because part of the issue that happened with this last relationship is that, and I want to ask you about this. We brought up before we hit recording is apparently I did a faux pas, right? I asked him to call me while he was visiting a friend for a
Oh.
few days, right?
Oh yeah, I heard that. I wanted to talk about that too.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about it. So I asked him, you know what? I'd like for you to call me while you're there and ask me about my day. I wasn't really hearing from him. It was just like check in, picture here, picture there. Day was good. Good night. Whatever. And we talked about it while he was vacationing with his friend. I said, hey, this is what's coming up for me. Checking in, telling you how I feel. What do you think? So we talked about it and we were good. And while he was up there, he called, how's your day? Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, cool. I can talk to this guy, tell him how I feel. We come to a solution. He follows up. We're good with that. Apparently, when I talked with my brother, he was like, yeah, no, you shouldn't have done that. You're not his girlfriend. You shouldn't have asked him to give you a call because you're not boyfriend, girlfriend. And I didn't know that until a month later after it happened.
He didn't express his frustration.
That he had expressed his frustration. So we're broken up. I have my counselors left and right, Amber and Emil. And my brother tells me this is what happened. Ask him if this is what actually happened. So I did. I sent him a text. I said, hey, did I trigger you when I asked you to call me while you were visiting your friend? And I'm not your girlfriend, blah, 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 whatever. He said, yes. One word, yes. I knew then that we didn't have the same expectations and we weren't on the same page. Well, fuck, you were there a month ago.
Right.
You kept that shit to yourself for 4 fucking weeks. And then we go travel to fucking Mexico for 5 days. And I'm thinking, reset button. I know he's stressed. I'm stressed. Time to reconnect. So you go to Mexico with that. You don't tell me about it. I find out through my counselor. And that's why you're saying we were never on the same page. What the fuck?
It's still wrong.
I mean, come on. Come on. You had 4 weeks to tell me, Karina, let's touch base. Let's talk about this. Where are we at? I know we have this trip coming up. Might make things a little tricky right now. Money is spent. Never checked it. Had the answer the whole time.
Male perspective.
So yeah, that's a faux pas to ask for it.
Wait, a faux pas to ask for what?
To ask for that amount of accountability.
Really? Why?
Because if you want to see the bowels of male hypocrisy, just examine how men function early on in relationships. Because we want to teach our friends, our sons and nephews, to be accountable at all times and to treat everything and yourself with so much respect. But the moment a woman asks us to be accountable, it's a problem. And the reason why it's a problem, and I'm there too with him, is because if I don't want to if I'm not ready to operate within those perimeters of accountability, if that's not where I'm at, you're making me do it. And it's an aggression. I think that I believe that by and large, when a man is really interested in a woman, she shouldn't even have to ask for that because he's going to be calling her.
That's true.
But I don't think that. So even though it's a faux pas, I don't think that it's. I don't think a woman should stop doing it. Some faux pas need to happen. I mean, how do you find out? How do you find out how freaky your spouse is? You have to commit a lot of faux pas to get there to know there's a sexual relationship is exploring some faux pas, right? I know for me that same thing happened early on talking to this woman. I was very busy. I was working 16 hours a day, and this lady said to me, "I expect to hear from you tonight."
Ooh,
And then
that's
I said, "Oh, the expectations have arrived." Was my exact words.
mm,
And she knew she had been busted because I caught it. And so she said to me, "I wanted you to feel wanted." What she didn't know is that based on my own spiritual walk, I feel wanted every time I look in the mirror. Being wanted by being
Hello.
wanted by a woman is something that I can't replace that with any amount of self-esteem. That's just different. And but it should be a supplement to life and not something that I need to live and survive. No woman should a woman deserves better than to be going and completing somebody's son. You know what I mean? She should be adding on to it. I think that's just what I think. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman committing that faux pas. Um, I think that here are a few other ways to do it though. When a woman knows that a man is going on vacation, hey, I know how it is when you guys travel, but it would be nice to hear from you while you're traveling. She could even say it'd be nice to hear from you at least once a day while you're traveling. Now, once you say that, you're saying what you would like, even though you wanted and demanded it. You want to be able to tell your girlfriends, "Girl, he called me every day while he was out of town. So I don't know what he was doing." You would love to be able to tell your friends that, but it gives a man the option, and it gives you a chance to see how he feels about you without you demanding it.
mm,
That's one way to go about it. Another way to go about it is to wait the first night. And if he didn't call you after that, the next time he contacts you saying, "That's kind of weird for me not hearing from you on your vacation, but go ahead and enjoy your vacation and you can just call me when it's over." If he really cares, he's going to start calling you. If
mm.
he doesn't, take it for what it is. He's going to say, "Get over it." And he's just out there doing his thing. And let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, us men in our 40s with consequences dripping over our belts and rib cages because we're fat, ain't nothing going on. We passing out at 9:30 in a room.
Us women too.
we
That's
like
right.
to,
You're in
we like to
sweats.
act like we're turning up, and at the very most, like when I've traveled with my friends, what I really see when we travel is we have fun getting rejected by women that are either out of our league or too young for us. It's really fun, and we talk about, "Oh yeah man, yeah, she wanted me, but she was looking at that other guy." It's all bullshit. I know that for me personally, and I know we can't spend a lot of time on this topic. When I was married, I had to talk to my wife every night. I had to. I wasn't trying to manipulate her. It was important to me that she heard my voice at least once, but hopefully twice a day while I was traveling. Didn't want to be responsible for any of her anxiety. The truth is, I could call her 3 times a day and still be doing something. But if her peace of mind comes just from hearing my voice, that's my part. And I believe, for me personally, because here's the thing, I don't have this insecurity, but when you have those guys who start off like that guy did, if he was really serious, he would be he would want to know what you're doing at night at home, where it would be convenient for you to have somebody over for 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And if he doesn't care about that, that's telling you something. But
You know
what
what? I
happens?
appreciate. Oh, sorry. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, but what happens? We find out really quickly that you're not giving hoe vibes. And since you're not giving hoe vibes, we don't need to check in with you. So we just become resplendent in what we think you are and what role we think we play in your life. And so we don't have to be accountable. I'm sorry, I just had to put that part in there.
No, that's fine. And I mean, we can slice and dice that
Yeah.
particular situation. For me, it's not having the conversation you should have had with me. So when I brought it up the first time while he was still up there, what he should have said was, "I hear what you're saying, Karina, that you want me to call and check in and, ask about your day. But here's what's coming up for me." And that never came up. And this, to me, the sense of responsibility of, I know what's wrong with me. I know what I'm holding to myself. I know I haven't talked to her about this, that is really important for me. And I am choosing to keep that to myself until my trip with her comes up, and then I'm gonna let her go. To me, that's it's painful to think about it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm crying about it. It's painful to think about it. It's disappointing to think about it, that someone would consciously hold that to themselves. And we talk about everything else. We've talked about everything else, but you've consciously held that to yourself and not say anything. So that's just, again, going back to check-in and communication and other things that could just improve two people's relationships, whether you decide to end it or not. It's super disappointing.
Can I impart one thing about that? This is the problem with you doing what you did. With any time a woman does something like that, it's a demonstration of dignity and respect, self-respect. And there's a little boundary in there.
When a woman does what? When she's asking for, what do you mean by when a woman does?
When a woman is expecting something that's completely feasible, it's on the side of dignity. Like, I'm seeing you and I want to hear from you. What's wrong with that is that there's a type of man who's intimidated by any one woman drawing a line in the sand, and that's a line in the sand. Wanting to hear from us while we're on vacation is a line in the sand, and that typically comes out of the mouths of women who have a sense of self-worth, not an aggrandized, egomaniacal sense of self-worth. Most women who are dating a man exclusively want to know what he's doing, and that's normal. The way it's framed can be used against you later in the court of law, of course, but generally, that's all it is when a woman's asking for that. But once again, speaking particularly your situation, you were encouraged to ask for those kinds of things from the beginning, because I paused my dating app. So a person who I paused my dating app for, who I'm cooking dinner for, who I introduced to my family, is asking me for a check-in, is asking to hear from me. You know, some women pepper it with, it was so hard for me to sleep last night not having heard from you. I just need to hear your voice.
Oh my God. Oh
And you know what? That works, but that's manipulation. And you know what kind of results you're going to get from that?
A marriage.
But
it just seems like so many guys fall for that crap, and that's just.
I do.
Oh my God, no.
But someone telling me, I expect to hear from you tonight, it's like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? You know, so it's different. But in your situation, Karina, I just think that that is an excellent scenario all around from the beginning. I don't know how it ended, but from the beginning to this, which seems to be like it was in the middle of the apex of the situation, of a guy saying one thing, you basically hearing what he said. I mean, it's not that good of an example, because he said he wants a level of a modicum of exclusivity. You started operating within those perimeters, and when you did that, he interpreted it as some kind of sign of aggression, and it turned him off. Sounds like somebody who didn't know what he wanted.
I mean, I don't think her, well, I always say two things. Karina knows this. I am very much say, is he asking you to be exclusive? Is he telling you that? That's the first thing. But there's no reason why Karina should not have felt the way she felt because of what he was doing and the things that he was doing. So I agree, but I also agree too, if don't take this the wrong way, it's going to sound bad. If a man wants to stay, he will stay. That conversation should not have been what was the end all of it.
Oh, I know, I
In my
totally
opinion.
agree.
Yeah.
He pieced out.
Yeah. That should not have been the end all. And, you know,
Oh, that conversation was the end all?
Which one?
The conversation about hearing from him on the when
No,
you
but
asked him
it
about it
was
later.
the impetus to
Okay. Yeah.
to
So
that.
when you asked him about it later, it led to dialogue that made you guys stop talking to each other.
Yeah, when I asked him about it, it was delayed. The conversation was delayed until our trip
Okay.
happened, and then he exited, took the door right after that.
after a trip though, come on.
Okay, so let me just tell both of you this. You, Amber, so you can continue to counsel other people and tender advice. You, Karina, so you can use this with your advice, with your own dating life. When I am naturally attracted socially to married men. Those are the kind of guys who
Oh,
I
sure.
hang out with.
Okay. Okay.
Those are the guys who make up my friend. And those are the guys, for whatever reason, if I start talking to somebody at the auto mechanic or something, and we end up like staying in touch, it just turns out they're married guys. There's a vibe, right? One of the annoying things about married men or our species when we travel with each other is how much checking in we either have to do with these wives, fiancés, or serious girlfriends who are about to become fiancés. And I want to tell you that guys go out of their way to facilitate that when they're serious about a woman. I
Mhm.
got to call her. Like, you just heard that this guy's just dominated the whole group, straight alpha male, just pissing on everybody's shoes, demanding this, demanding that. But when it comes to what that lady wants, he's completely passive about it.
Mhm.
Meaning this, everybody will make time for what they want to make time for, and that is not a big thing to ask for. And when women want that, if it's available, a man's going to give it, and he's going to give it in spades.
Mhm. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, I know that I feel like there's more for this topic, like other areas that we can continue with this series, but I love it. I think I appreciate you both for being vulnerable about talking about this. And Marcus, maybe one day we could have one of your married friends on here too. So, you know, we can have a dating and two dating perspectives and two, you know, marriage perspectives. It may be fun.
Yeah, we
Party.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought about candidates in my mind, and yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that communication and honesty in communication are the most
And honest.
valuable assets or currencies now in relationships, when they should actually be such a sundry item that just come with two adults talking, particularly people in their
Right.
30s and 40s. But that is like
Serious.
that is the clamored for thing. Do I feel that someone's being honest with me? Do I feel thoroughly communicated with? And the problem with the problem that keeps arising for me and other people I know, men and women I know, is the fact that a lot of women are emotionally and romantically verbose,
Mm.
and a lot of men are emotionally and romantically inarticulate.
Mhm.
And that's where the big problem comes in at.
Yeah, I
The
agree. You know,
communication, yeah.
I'm gonna finish reading Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus because I do really think that like what is in our minds is totally something different from what you guys are actually thinking and vice versa. But back to the bottom line, communication is key, especially at this age. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. So if a woman is feeling something, she should feel the right to be able to say, "Hey, I'm feeling you. What's up?" And also vice versa. I don't see if there's anything wrong with that, but I appreciate you, Marcus. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're
That was
welcome.
awesome.
Whether a woman, it doesn't matter what the situation is. A woman and a man always have a right to express themselves. And
Yeah.
if a person can't handle it, they can get the hell on.
On to the next
Yeah.
one.
On to the next one, because if you can't express yourself to me,
Yeah.
then I'm already showing you that if I am not giving credence and attention to your thoughts and feelings during the interview phase of dating, what
Yeah.
am I going to do when you're married to me?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a great point. If one person, one or the other person feels like I can't talk to them, that's a problem in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
And
the
especially if
interview
I've
phase.
never given you a reason for not feeling okay talking to me about other things.
Mhm.
Yeah, right on target,
Yeah.
Marcus.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Marcus. Well, before we wrap this up, like we've been doing the last few shows, just shout out to Karina's book. If you want to talk a little bit about it.
Oh yes.
Get it.
Okay, so I have my background, so I'm not gonna put it up because it's just hard to see it. Yes, my book is out, and actually I have 2 fans right here who have read my book, 13 Months Journey Through the Pandemic. Like I said, it came out August 8th. It's available on Amazon, paperback and Kindle version. And it's 18 reflections of what I learned about myself during the isolation period at the height of the pandemic, and how I used what I learned about myself getting back into being with my friends and colleagues and traveling and the things that I used to do comfortably before pandemic. And today there's still some level of unfamiliarity, anxiety, because we're not all the way 100% out of the pandemic. So anyway, 18 reflections of my experience. There are a couple chapters on dating during COVID, which is not fun and it's a little different. But yeah, I would love your support. Go on Amazon and grab it and read it and write me a review. That would be great.
Yeah.
And you should remind people that if they don't have Kindle, because I almost had to charge my Kindle to get it, but fortunately I was able to get it as an auction item at a charity. But that's very important. So it's available on Kindle or as a physical book,
Yeah.
not on Google Play Books. It's not there yet.
Oh, but that's a place next.
Oh,
go.
okay, yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
2 different versions.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up, you guys. Marcus, thank you so much as always.
Thank you, ladies.
My lovely co-host. And you know what, you guys, don't forget to smash that like button wherever you're listening to, whether it be YouTube, and comment below whether you think Marcus and Karina should go out and have some coffee together. Seriously, throwing that out there.
Tell me in comments how much of a simp I sound like and how much of a pick me I sound like.
Oh,
No,
stop.
you absolutely do not sound like
Your
a simp.
insight is fabulous.
Yes, and we appreciate it. And I think other people out there are, you are not alone, but we can't talk about that song. So
Hey, that's what 13
I
months
am
is about.
here with
That's
you.
That's what 13 months is about. The book 13 months, that's one of the biggest things. If you, at least 50% of that will show you that you are not the only one thinking and feeling some of the things that you were feeling during the pandemic.
Yes. Love it. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening
All right.
and watching. We love you all and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.